Hello and welcome to a new Google Sheets video in Practical Sheets. Today, again, we work with inventories, but a very specific thing about inventory, and it's the monthly inventory. Normally, we look at the picture of the inventory, today's inventory at this time. That will change in 5 minutes or in an hour or tomorrow. What I want to do, based on a question from a Patreon, is to have the monthly inventory. See what is the evolution, if it has gone down, up, or a year ago, how was it? This is what we're going to do today. Let me show you. So this is how we normally have the inventory. Again, just the current one. What we're going to do today is do the monthly inventory, month by month, how does it change? And then the monthly inventory, but by product, more similar to what we had here. But instead of having all of these, unit bots, unit sold, we're just going to have the inventory and its evolution product by product. I know you're going to love it. And before we begin, if you want to download this template or more than 150 ones, you can go to the Patreon page. Link is down below. If not, just a subscription to the channel. It means a lot also. Thank you so much. And before we begin, let me thank my patrons. Without them, this could not be possible. Thank you so much. Now let's begin. We've already done several videos regarding inventory. And there are many ways in which we could see not only the total inventory with a dashboard we've made before, but product by product. However, there is a disadvantage or a drawback on this, and is that this is a picture. So I'm going to see the inventory today. And if there are some movements tomorrow I'm going to see the picture of tomorrow. But what happens if my manager or you as a project manager wants to see the inventory, not today's picture, but the picture at the end of the year, or at the end of the quarter, or at the end of the last month? So the big drawback of this is that it's very nice for the day-to-day and for knowing at this exact moment if everything is updated correctly, how's my inventory. But to go back in the past, right now as it is built, it's not that easy. We have the tools, because the nice thing about having always put the date both to purchases and sales is that I think we can go back, but we're going to need to do some formulas and a bit of tweaking. So this is what we're going to do today. How to tweak maybe a couple of methods or formulas to let us see our inventory month by month. And hopefully, if we can, product by product and month by month. So let's move right into it. We're going to create a sheet called monthly inventory. First thing I need to know are my months. So which are the months that I want to see? So actually, I'm going to use another set of data. I'm going to replace this data for sample data I got with ChatGPT. So I'm going to change the table for some motorcycles, and let's adjust the table range up to 11. Perfect. Now let's go to our purchases. I'm going to paste some names, some dates, and some units, as well as the unit cost. We've already discussed in another video how to bring the unit cost, be it with a formula or manually. Even there is a script we could use also. And finally, we're going to also do some sample sales. Much better. And my picture of my inventory as of today should update with no problem. Maybe we can put here some currency format. Now let's go to our monthly inventory. So for now, let's do it. Let's do the total. Let's not focus on the products, but just on the dates. So what dates do we need? A way of seeing the dates is just going to our purchases and see the dates of the purchases. So we could do unique and go to our purchases and take all of our dates. Control Shift down. You can see that this changes to table notation. So it's the table purchases in the column date. Let's hit enter, and these are our dates. And we can sort them. So we can see it from alphabetically. So we have January 10th, January 25th. However, we don't want to see the dates one by one. We want to see the months. So a trick we could do is the following. To remove this unique for now, I'm going to do here at the right a formula that brings the last day of the month. It could be also the first day of the month, but you'll see that the last day of the month will help us at the end with another formula. But it doesn't matter because then we're going to extract with a formula the month. The important thing is that these two are the same, because what I want to do is to calculate the whole month, not specific dates. So to unify this, we could use month, the month formula, but I want to also differentiate year. This is why end of month could be a good idea. So there's a formula called EOMONTH, last day of a month before or after a date. And I'm going to choose the date and then comma and then just a 0 to refer to this specific month. If you could put 1, 2, or 3 if you want to go months in the future, or -1, -2 if you want to go months in the past. Let's hit enter, and in this autofill, then you can see that these two have defaulted to the last day of that month, 31st of January, and the February, both Februaries have gone to 28th of February. So we are going to do this end of month here. Let us see if it works. I may have to put it in an array formula. Let's see. End of month. Let's delete it. Actually, I was missing the 0, and now I have it. So what I did was, again, all the dates, convert them to the end of the month, then do the unique. So I will have only one date per month, and then order it from the past to the future. I'm going to add a row, and let's call this date or month. And one last thing we could do is, even though this is the last day of the month, we could have a format that just shows us the month. And I already have it here, but I'm going to show you how you can do it. Go to custom date and time, and then you can choose something similar to what you want. In this case, I want just the month abbreviated and the year. Let me see. So this could work. So I'll take this, and then I go here and delete this comma, the day, and this space, and hit apply. So now this looks really, really nice. Again, take into account that beneath the format that says Jan 2023, we have the last day of each month. Perfect. Now that I have this, let me see how could we bring the purchases and then the sales, as we did in the inventory. First, we bring the units bought, then the units sold, and then we just subtract. So we're going to do the same. Let's do purchases, sales, and inventory. How could we do it? There are two ways of doing this: the complicated way and the easiest way. What would you prefer? Not always the more complex formulas are the better, so I'm going to do the complicated one first, just to show you the difference. But you can go faster in this. So what we're going to do is use a SUMIFS. In both cases, we're going to use SUMIFS. It's a great way of summing by conditions. What we're going to sum in this case are the purchases, the units purchased, that are these ones. Okay? Let's hit comma, and then remember that we're not going to talk about names for now. We're just going to talk about dates. So what I wanted is that this date is this date. Okay, that's it, nothing more. However, this does not work really well, because remember that this is the last day of the month. So if my purchase was made not in the last day, but in the second to last, then this won't record. So what we could do is change these purchases C and add a formula. The same formula we did here, end of month. So we're going to convert all of the dates to the end of that month. So we can do EOMONTH, 0. What do you think? Will it work or not? It won't work. Why? Because EOMONTH is a single cell formula, and we need to have an array type or a matrix type formula. So in order to convert this end of month to an array, we will use this array formula function. And let's drag it down. Excellent. So now I have the purchases, and for the sales it will be exactly the same. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it here, but I'm going to change purchases for sales. So let's not autofill, let's select a couple of ranges of cells for this to work. Let's hit Ctrl H, and we're going to find purchases and replace it for sales in a specific range, and search within formulas, replace all. Let's do done. And now I have it also for my sales. Let's double check that the units are in D and the date is in C. Units in D and sell dates in C, so it's not a problem. It should work. Let's drag it down. And now if we want to calculate the inventory, is purchases minus sales. And let's autofill, and that's it. But there's something that's missing. There's something wrong here. Why? Because here we're seeing the net inventory of the month, but we are not seeing the accumulate. For example, let's say in January we purchased 5 and sold 1. So my inventory is 4. Perfect. In February we bought 7 and sold 5. The inventory is 2. Right? Wrong. Because we had 4 from the beginning of the month. So it is 2, just the net bought minus sold of the month, but we need to add whatever we had left from the month before. So actually this should be 6. So how do we solve this? And actually it took me a while to figure it out, but it's very easy actually. So what we're going to do is go back to our SUMIFS, original SUMIFS. Remember, we're always going to sum, in this case, the purchases, and the condition is the month. So I'm going back to my month and select all of these. Sorry, went away. Again, I'm going to hit a space. So I have this small indicator that I can go now to my purchases and select a column. So I'm going to select the date column, hit comma. So now it comes the trick, and is that I want my purchases, the condition is that my purchases should be before the end of this month. Remember that here I have the end of the month. So what I could do is, in quotation marks, put minus or equal, close quotation marks, hit an ampersand, and select this date that is the end of January. So it's still the same 5, but if I drag it down, it starts to doing the accumulate. So here I bought 5, here I bought 5 plus 7, here I bought 12 plus 8, here I bought 20 plus 5, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in purchases will be the same. I will drag it here, I will copy this, I will paste it here, and let's delete a couple of them. Select 2 or 3 cells in order for this to work. Ctrl H, purchases for sales, search within formulas, replace all, done, and now I can drag it down. Okay, so I'm doing the accumulated sales with a very simple formula. The accumulated sales, the purchases, and here the accumulated sales, and the inventory will, as always, just be the subtraction of the accumulated purchases minus accumulated sales. That's it. It's not that complicated. And the reality is that I don't need this or this. I could do everything inside my inventory. So I'm going to copy this formula, go here and paste it instead of my B2. And then I'm going to this form cell to copy this formula and paste it inside instead of my C2. Hit enter, drag it down, remove purchases and sales, and now I have my monthly inventory very easily. Why did I do this? Because now it won't be that hard to also do the products. So I'm going to duplicate this sheet and call it monthly inventory by product. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this. I'm going to copy this formula here, just bear with me, and I'm going to transpose it. Transpose, or there's another newer formula called to row. It's the same as transposing, but transposing is a bit more intelligent because it will always from row to call and to call to row. But this one, well, it's a bit more specific. And I'm going to drag it to the left and remember the format I did before. This one, or maybe even this one, just without the whole year. And I'm going to select all of my cells with this button at the top left corner, and then I'm going to double click in any of the right borders so that everything auto fits. And this formula, I'm going to change one thing. I want the month not to be this A2 but this B1, so that then I can put my products here. So instead of A2, let's call this B1. Okay, now let's delete all of this, and let's delete all of this. I could drag this down and it would be damaged. Why? Because I need to first fix my ranges, because if I have this DD and then I move it to the right, then this will become EE and it would damage my formula. So I'm going to fix this with F4, and also this one with F4, and also this one with F4, and also this one with F4. Okay, if I drag this to the right, it should work perfectly. So it's the same we did, but it's just now it's not in a single column but in a single row. So we can call this total. I'm going to copy this formula and paste it here. And I want a formula that I can paste all of my products here, and when I drag it down, it still works. So the first thing I need to do before pasting my products is to fix also this B1. The problem is that if I fix it like I did with the other ones, then it will always refer to January. I want it to refer, if it's in column B, to January, if it's in column C, to February, if it's in column D, to March. So I want it to be able to move through the columns but stay in the first row. These dollar signs are for. These fix either the column, the row, or both. So I'm just, in this case, I just need to fix the row. So I'm going to put a dollar sign before 1. Another way of doing this, I'm going to do it here, is just to hit F4 1 time and 2 times. If I hit it 3 times, then it will go just to fix the column. If I hit it again, it will reset it to unfixed, to relative. But if I hit it 1, it's absolute. Hit it once, the absolute is the row, but the column will be relative. So let's hit enter. And this is the formula I will need. Now I'm going to bring the products here, very similar to how I brought the dates, or how I brought them in the inventory if you've done it before. It's basically this unique formula. So I'm going to copy this unique formula and paste it here. And now I'm going to need to add something to my SUMIFS so that it also takes into account the products. So, and that is the nice thing of the SUMIFS, that you could add however many conditions you want. So I'm going to put a comma here. Let's go to our purchases, choose column A, comma again, go back to my monthly inventory by product sheet and select this one. In this case, in A3, I want to do the opposite of what I did in B1. I don't want to fix the row, I want to fix the column, so that if I drag it down, the row should be relative. If I drag down the formula, it should take the appropriate row. But if I drag it right, the column should stay fixed. This is why here I need to fix the column, not the row. So let's do F4 once, twice, and thrice. Let's hit enter. And I'm not going to autofill because I also need to do this in the other formula. That is the one in the sales. So again, let's do comma. Let's go to our sales. Let's select the column of the name. Let's hit comma. Go back to monthly inventory by product and choose the product. Again, F4 once, twice, thrice. Let's hit enter. And if I start dragging down, I think it makes sense. And it should add up. 1 plus 3, it should give me this 4. But before dragging it right, I forgot one thing, is to fix my purchases AA, F4, and here F4. Let's hit enter. Let's drag it down and let's drag it to the right. And this should add 6. 1, 2, 5, and 6. Perfect. So that's it. That's what I needed to do. So let's drag this all the way to the right. Maybe there's a way of doing this with array formulas or map plus lambda, so I don't have to drag it down to the right or down, but I don't want to waste more of your time. If someone has a clever idea, just let me know. For now, I think this should work really fine, and then you could drag it manually when you have more products or when you have more dates. Let's see what happens if I drag this down. It's 0. Maybe you could put just an if, that if this is very similar to what we've done in the inventory before. If A2 equals to blank, then don't do nothing. You know what? Let's do this. Control C. Then let's paste it here. Hit enter. Actually, it's A3. And we could do the same for the date. We need 2 conditions. And I could do this with the function or. You could say that if A3 equals to nothing or B1 equals to nothing, then just don't do anything. The only way we will do the formula is if both I have a date and I have a name. So remember, you need to fix the A3 on the column and fix the B1 on the row. Let's hit enter. Let's drag this all the way to the right, and we could also include the spaces. And then we can drag it all the way down with Ctrl Shift down once, and twice, maybe even thrice, and Ctrl T. And that's it. Now it will work when you have new products and when you have new months to the right. And I forgot to drag also my total. Now it will be very easy to see month by month the status of your inventory. So, hey, what happened in December 2023? How was my inventory? Hey, you had 41. You had all of these, and then maybe you could use, I don't know, a query, a filter, some drop downs with the months, a dynamic table to show if you want to show just a specific month. But now you have the input to show it very quickly and to see your inventory, not only a picture of your inventory, but the history of your inventory. And now you can do trends. If your inventory has gone up, has gone down, maybe a specific product, the inventory has gone up, then you need to stop buying it, or maybe the trends of the inventory. And then you can match this with the sales or with the purchases. Maybe you've been selling a lot and purchasing too little, or backwards, you're purchasing too much and selling less. So the reason I did in just one formula, purchases and sales, is that it's easy to see it here. But maybe you want to do just one sheet for purchases, so you can see the history of purchases, and you can do one sheet for sales with this formula we did here. Remember, this is purchases and this is sales. And then you can let your imagination fly on with the needs you have. So I hope this works. This was a response to someone in the Patreon that asked me how to do this. So it was a while for doing it, but I hope it works for you and for many others. And as always, you are the experts in inventories, not me. So you can tell me where I went wrong, what is missing, and what do you suggest. Thank you so much, especially to my Patreons, and see you next time.